Hello, I'm Nirash. Welcome to the Ruby. This presentation will cover many areas of the Ruby programming language and involvement with Web 2.0 as our third year PLTC assignment. These are the 6 members in our group. In the programming language world, we have been gifted by several programming languages, and they all have their merits and demerits. Ruby is a very efficient and effective programming language that can perform tasks in a smart and a fast way than the other programming languages. This language has made programming a simple task for all programmers as it provides results after a short development time. Programmers can now very easily see their vision and ideas being transformed directly to a code. Ruby also works on the basis of object-oriented design like C++ or Java. The web application framework, which was given by David H. Hansen, was named Ruby on Rails. It designed with the various component libraries and works in a way similar to any web application framework. Rails, like Ruby, has received worldwide acceptance and has successfully been used by programmers as an efficient development tool. Okay, now we quickly go through the overview of our presentation. History of Ruby. And what is Ruby? Features of Ruby, language features, getting started on Ruby, advantages of Ruby, and also comparison with other languages and conclusion. Now let's move on to history of Ruby. When you are learning something new, the first thing you should check out its history. When you go through the history, you get a better perspective. It's the same with Ruby language, and hence let us get a quick dose of Ruby history. Ruby originated in Japan during mid-1990s and was initially developed and designed by Yukiro Matsumoto, known as SMATS. Ruby 1.0 was released in December 1996, 1.1 in August 1997, and 1.2 and 1.3 were released in December 1998. The latest version were released in January 2009. Matsumoto has often said that he is trying to make Ruby natural, not simple, in a way that mirrors life. And also he said that I wanted a scripting language that was more powerful than Perl and more object-oriented than Python. That's why I decided to design my own language. Ruby's primary focus is productivity of program development, and users will find what programming in Ruby is productive and even fun. It is well suited for these problem domains such as CGI, network, GUI, XML programming, prototype, and programming education. When we take Ruby language, it is based on Perl, Smalltalk, Eiffel, Ada, and Lisp. Next slide, I'm going to give you a brief idea about what is Ruby. Ruby is a pure object-oriented language supporting all 6 qualities, which are encapsulation and information hiding, inheritance, polymorphism, and dynamic binding. All predefined types are objects, and all operation performed by sending message to object, and all user-defined types are objects. The next point is Ruby provides us with a familiar syntax which are known to C++, Eiffel, Perl, and Python programmers. These syntaxes are composed of all common features available for programming like the comments, identifiers, reserved words, literals, arrays, regular expression, etc. Also, it emphasizes on simplicity and design elegance. It runs on many platforms including Linux and many flavors of Unix, MS-DOS, Windows, and Mac OS. Hence, it is open source, which means that it is free to be used. One does not need to pay anything to it used. Because of this feature of Ruby, it is used worldwide by everyone. Now we move on to the Ruby features. This diagram simply shows us features of Ruby, such as garbage collector, familiar syntax, open source, object-oriented, etc. Let's go through the language features one by one in the next slide. Learning Ruby is very easy if you already know a programming language. But there are some Ruby language features which can cause headache for a programmer migrating from C++ or Java. So we will look at few interesting language features that are unique to Ruby. Objects everywhere. The first one is truly object-oriented. A language is considered to be a pure object-oriented language if it satisfies all of these qualities. In Ruby, everything is an object including a simple numeric values. And it has blocks, implicit return value in methods. In Ruby, everything is open. Missing unary operators in Ruby. Method indicators. Ruby supports parallel assignment. It is possible to change multiple variables in a single assignment. And also in Ruby, strings are mutable. It is possible to change a string variable in a place. Hence, unlike Java, the something string literal when used multiple times will point to different object instances. True and false in Ruby. In Ruby, only nil and false evaluate to false. This means that everything else evaluates to true. Hence, even the value 0 evaluates to true in Ruby. Native support for range and regular expressions. It has native support for regular expression and ranges. This is backed up with rich set of API methods. Control structures such as a case statement natively support for ranges for value comparison.